Welcome to Thomistic Womanhood. In today's video, we're going to discuss how to attract a masculine man, and I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to do that. Many of you watching this channel are more traditionally minded. I think it's safe to assume that. And so those of us with that mindset, we want a man that complements us, not one that is like very similar to us. And so if you want to attract that kind of guy, there are some very specific way you need to go about it. And the foundational thing is you need to enhance the contrast between you and a man versus the similarities. The way that society kind of teaches us to flirt nowadays is, as women, we're taught to kind of enhance the similarities. We're supposed to take initiative, we're supposed to be go-getters, but that is just going to enhance the similarities between you and a man. And then you're just going to end up, what you'll attract is a man that's a little more effeminate, he's a little on the softer side, and it's usually not going to work out that great. Trust me, I've been there. So anyways, these are going to be 5 tips on how to enhance this contrast. So tip number 1, be a good listener. So with men, a lot of them are very busy. Guys are not really into the whole tell me about your feelings, Guys are just let's get it done, let's move forward. They don't really listen to each other a lot of times. And so sometimes men feel very lonely in the world because they don't really have a compassionate ear to tell their problems to. And so obviously you don't want a man that's super whiny, because that would be annoying. But, be a good listener. I'm going to make another video later about how to be a good flirt and be a good conversationalist, which is kind of half of what flirting is with men. But being a good listener means, you sit there, you listen to his stories. It doesn't necessarily have to be just when something bad happens to him, but if he's excited about something, how lonely is it when you don't have someone to share good news with, So you want to be someone that he feels like he can tell the good and the bad to. Or maybe he has a plan or a dream, Listen to these things, sit there, make a lot of eye contact, ask questions about whatever he's talking about, things like that, and just genuinely focus on him when he's talking. Make an effort to do that. And that will go a long way with men. They really appreciate that. And the masculine men will be drawn to that like moss like a flame, seriously. Now, a common obstacle or problem that comes up with this, or question that gets asked, is how am I going to be a good listener if he talks over my head and I don't understand what he's talking about? Now, a lot of men will do that on purpose because it makes them feel important. So if you've got a man who isn't doing that in an obnoxious way, because there are some men that are really obnoxious about it, but if he is talking over your head, you can ask whatever questions you feel would help you understand. But if you're still not getting it, then I would say, just listen and try to look at the man behind the concept, the topic he's talking about. Try to look at the man behind the topic. So, maybe admire him a little bit, praise him a little bit, wow, that's really complicated. Wow, I didn't know nuclear physics was so complex. Wow, how did you figure that out? Oh, well, blah, 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 So you can kind of, admire him for being able to figure that out, or, So, and oftentimes that's what men really want when they're talking over your head. They're actually just looking for somebody to admire them and go, wow, that's really complicated. How did you ever figure that out? They love that. So next one, the next tip, receive graciously. So this is something that us women, we all have trouble with it. It's difficult for us to receive a lot of times, And when I say receive, I mean gifts, compliments, or help. If he gives you a compliment, just receive the compliment, smile and say thanks. Don't shoot down the compliment. If he goes, wow, your hair is really beautiful, don't sit there and go, oh, no, it's not. It's actually really frizzy, or, oh my gosh, it's such a mess. It's all Kingdom of the Frizzies, With men, that just makes them feel rejected. With them, giving you a compliment is something they do to kind of be nice to you. And if you shoot it down, they're going to feel a little slighted, honestly. I've heard guys say that, and, I've read online when guys talk about this, it's kind of something they don't like about women is when we reject their compliments. And think about it, if you gave a compliment to a man and he was like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. For us women, it's different. We reject compliments as a way of bonding you know, because then the other person can step in and go, oh, no, it looks great. Really? Oh my gosh, you know, and then it's like this whole big bonding moment. Guys don't do that. They don't interpret it that way. So yeah, if he gives you a compliment, just smile and say thanks. You know, you don't need to. This is also part of being mysterious, which we'll talk about later. But, you know, don't tell every little detail about how you got your hair to look that way or how that outfit turned out or whatever. Just smile and say thanks. Gifts, it's the same thing. You are not obligated to a man to do anything, you know, for him, especially physically, if he gives you a gift. You know, if a gift is a gift, there should be no strings attached. And so when a guy gives you a gift, assuming he's, you know, a good, decent guy, obviously if he's the kind of guy that gives gifts with strings attached, why are you involved with him? You know, think about it. But I'm gonna assume you have a normal, decent guy on your hands. And, you know, if he gives you a gift, just, again, smile and say thank you. If you like the gift, you know, if it's something you've always wanted, like let's say you've always wanted flowers and he gives you flowers, make sure you show your enthusiasm, because men give gifts and they're very sensitive to the reaction. So if you get a gift and you're just very like flat, like, oh, thanks, they're gonna feel a little hurt by that. They're gonna go, oh, I guess she didn't really like it. But I mean, if you love flowers and you want your boyfriend to give you flowers, then from now on, every bouquet you get is, oh, this is the cutest I've ever seen. Oh, I love that color flowers. Oh, you know, sometimes it helps to kind of play up the enthusiasm a little bit. Don't be completely fake about it. You know, if you're not extroverted, if you're very introverted, you know, don't be something you're not. But if your authentic response is a 5, maybe take it up to a 6 or a 7. That's all I'm saying. You know, make sure you show enthusiasm and appreciation when a guy gives you a gift. That is something masculine men love. They love feeling appreciated for the gifts they give. They love that emotional response in women because, again, it's different than men. You know, if you give a guy a gift, like let's say you give him a bunch of ammo, he's not gonna sit there and go, ooh, oh my gosh, ammo! You know, like that's not gonna happen. So, you know, again, there's a contrast there, but with women, you know, if you give us the right gift, you might get that response, you know? So again, gifts, compliments, help is another one. If a man helps you with something, just smile and say thank you. You know, if he opens a door for you, don't read into it, just smile and say thank you. If he helps you carry a box, if he helps you with your car, you know, just smile and say thank you. You're not obligated to do something back. You know, as he's helping you, don't sit there and plot how you're gonna like pay him back and, oh, well, maybe I should bake him cookies, or maybe I should do this, or, or worse, don't reject the help in a misguided sense of like self-sufficiency. You know, us women, it's easy for us to think we're being a burden. And for men, if it was a burden for him, he's not gonna offer. Men are not like women. With us, we will just give and give and give until it hurts. Men, they don't do that. They will give only if they have like the capacity to give. You know, in general, most of the time, that's what they're doing. So if a guy's helping you with something or he's giving in some way, he's not going to think you're a burden if you're accepting it. You know, like it's not a trap. You know, guys are not trapping you when they try to help you. You know, they're not going to turn around and go, oh, you're a burden because I helped you and you accepted it. They're not going to do that. So, you know, again, accept the help. It's a nice thing they're doing. Tip number 3, don't run the relationship. Just sit back, be passive, be cool, you know, let it unfold from the energy of his efforts. You know, as women, we get into that masculine frame of mind where we feel like we need to make something happen. You know, oh, I don't know where this is going, or, well, where is he going to take me? Oh, could we actually maybe go to this sushi restaurant at 7 o'clock and, you know, I can pick you up and blah. Don't do any of that. Just sit back, relax, let him plan the dates, let him call you, let him make the first move. This is important to give men that space and to kind of show them that you're, you know, a valuable woman. You're not going to run after men. Men look at this. They gauge, if they see you running after men all the time, they're going to go, this woman, she's probably not dealt with very good men in the past. And, you know, she's not very, I don't know if this is a high quality woman. Like she just runs after men a lot. You know, even if this is the only guy you've ever done that with, You know, maybe you were really good, you never called a guy, and this is the one guy where you were crazy about him. He's not going to know that. He's not going to know he was the one guy that you did this with. And so, but what he's going to think is, oh, she must do this to everybody. You know, because most of the time these men don't know you, you know, or if they do know you and they saw that you didn't chase men and then you're chasing them, that's going to also kind of put them off. So again, don't try to run the relationship. You got to let it just develop at, you know, its own pace, because then if you do, you're competing with him, you know, then you're getting into that masculine role, and then he doesn't feel masculine contrast compared to you. He just feels like he's got another guy on his hands. And that's not what you want. You know, attraction is built on contrast. So just let him do what he's going to do. This is where something called roster dating comes in really handy. You should be seeing multiple guys unless you and a guy have verbally discussed and agreed to being in an exclusive relationship, preferably a discussion that he initiated. Unless you guys have done that and you're exclusive, you should be dating other guys. You should be dating multiple men. That does not mean you have to kiss them or sleep with them. Obviously in this channel, we're very, you know, traditional. I don't think you should be sleeping with guys you're not married to. But, you know, again, you don't have to do things like that with them. But if you're seeing multiple guys, that means you kind of have multiple, like it's harder to get stuck on one guy and worried like, oh, well, he's not asking me out, or oh, this or that, you know. It's important to have multiple options, because truthfully, you really don't know which one's going to pan out. As much as we like a guy, you know, it may not work out, and the guy that you don't expect could be the one that you end up marrying, you know. That is actually what happened to me. I was doing online dating. I was talking to a couple guys about something that was like not platonic, but my husband ended up being the guy. When I was talking to all these guys, he was like the one I least expected anything to go anywhere. And, you know, it ended up working out. Now, that's not to say that you should, you know, that you're going to marry somebody that you're not attracted to, you're not noticing, but I'm just saying it's unpredictable. You don't know how things are going to go. So kind of hedge your bets by having multiple guys. And then that, you know, gives you the emotional space and the lack of anxiety, you know, because we often try to run a relationship because we're anxious of how it's going to turn out. If you have multiple guys, it takes away some of the anxiety. I'm not going to lie to you and say it takes away all of it, because it doesn't, you know, because when we really like a guy, it doesn't matter all the other people that are calling us. We're still waiting for that one number, you know, or text us or whatever. So again, it's not going to take away all the anxiety and the anticipation, but it's going to help. It will help. And also, if the guy catches wind of it, he's going to go, oh man, I better like sit up straight and take this girl seriously because I got competition, you know, so it can help you. Which is why a lot of guys knock it. They don't want girls to have a bunch of options. So, but they do it. But anyways, number 4, be mysterious. This is, again, a contrast to men. You know, men are very straightforward. They discuss, you know, they speak to give information. And when a man likes you, you know, he wants to lay it all out on the table, let you know what kind of man he is. You know, like, yeah, I got what it takes. I can be a good boyfriend. I can be there. You know, he's approaching it with that kind of mindset. But it's feminine to be a little more mysterious. You know, don't lay out all your cards. Wait and see what kind of man this is before you really get involved with him, you know. So don't spill your guts, you know. Don't tell him on the first or second date that, you know, you had an abusive childhood and your uncle did this and that to you. You know, don't bring up that kind of stuff. You know, just keep it cool, keep it light. You know, the first few dates, I'd say the first probably 3 or 4 dates, keep it pretty light and casual. And then, you know, once he starts investing himself more and you start seeing him open up, be careful with that though, because sometimes men will open up and they'll tell you some, like, you know, juicy childhood story or something, because they're trying to trick you into opening and spilling your guts too, and then they can manipulate you. So that's why I say wait about 3 or 4 dates. Really get to know this guy, see if he's going to go the distance, and then slowly, gradually, you know, kind of share parts of yourself, you know, emotionally and in the discussion. You want to just kind of keep that mystery. Also, don't tell gross stories, you know. If you had diarrhea the last week and you were sick, just tell them, and you had to cancel a date, just tell them you were sick. I caught a bug, or I caught a flu bug. You don't need to tell them you were throwing up at 2 a.m. and oh my gosh, I threw up pepperoni. Can you believe that? Don't do that. Don't tell them those kind of stories. Okay, save it for your girlfriends. You don't want to gross guys out. When you're feminine, it's like guys will tell the grossest stories to each other. They love fart jokes. They love potty humor. Gross stuff guys tend to associate it with masculinity. Women, they think though we're different. They think we're these delicate flowers, and so you want to play up that contrast by avoiding gross stories. And if he presses you for details, just be like, yeah, I threw up, it was kind of gross, and just leave it at that. But just stay away from the gross stories and stuff. Number 5, take care of yourself. And I mean this in a lot of ways. Take care of yourself first, actually, because it's important to take care of yourself. But if you're the last person on your list to take care of, that's not good. When you want to attract a masculine man, you got to take care of yourself first. So it's feminine to do our nails, do our hair, take bubble baths. If you like to paint, go ahead and paint. It doesn't have to be traditional self-care stuff, like having a spa day. Maybe that's not relaxing to you, but maybe you have, this like woodsy area behind your apartment and or your house, wherever, let's say you live with your parents. It's, this nice woodsy area and you like to take a walk sometimes. Be safe about it, but take a walk. If that's what relaxes you, go ahead and do that. If you like to work out, make sure you stick to your workout routine even after you start dating this guy. Take care of yourself first. And this is something men talk about when they talk about if you ask men to describe their dream girl, a phrase comes up a lot, and it's, I like a woman who takes care of herself. And a lot of us women misinterpret this to think, oh, I must be self-sufficient then. He wants a woman that's not going to be a burden and never need his help. And that's not what men mean. When they say takes care of herself, they mean these self-care things like, oh, she does her nails, she takes care of herself. Oh, look, she does face masks, she takes care of herself. That's what guys think when they use that phrase. And they think of those like feminine things that girls do to like take care of their beauty and their figure and things like that. Eat healthy, get enough sleep. If you've got a very demanding job and it's, wearing you out, set some boundaries. I know it's tough to do this in the workplace because it's so competitive, but do what you got to do, to take care of yourself first. Men gauge the value of a woman by the value she places on herself. Men will think about you the way you think about yourself. So take care of yourself first. When you date this guy, he should never come before the basics like food, sleep, emotional. If he's hurting you, don't date this guy. If he's keeping you up late, he wants to have these late dates, don't do that. You need your sleep. If he doesn't want, if he never takes you out to eat, and instead the most he'll do is maybe take you to get a coffee and you're hungry a lot when you're dating him, don't date this guy. Discuss it with him, bring it up nicely and just be like, hey, but if he's insistent and doesn't want to do those things, he doesn't come before, food, sleep, rest, things like that. So yeah, those are my 5 tips on how to attract masculine men. Again, these are all things that are going to help you enhance this contrast between you and a man, and masculine men love that. They love femininity. They come to it like moths to a flame. It's amazing. You will have a lot of luck if you do this. So I hope that's helpful for you. Go ahead and leave a comment below. You can subscribe, whatever, do all the things. But thank you for watching. That's the important thing. I'm glad you watched it. I hope you get something out of it. So anyways, yeah, have a great day.